Thank you for staying with us. It's that time that a number of people, I'm sorry they haven't been able to call in for some weeks now to talk to their friend here. But she's here today, and Janet is in the house, and she's going to talk about sneezing etiquette. Looks like everything has some kind of etiquette, you know.
Yeah. Oh, but let's add the other part that the Twitter also has some kind of etiquette, and you can use the Twitter if you can't call. Janet is waiting to get your tweets as well.
Good morning, and good morning, Yota. Good sneezing etiquette. I want to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, when someone sneezes around you, how do you feel? Second question, when someone sneezes around you and it smells, how do you feel? Early in the morning, yeah. And then
smelly sneeze. I've never experienced that one before.
Early in the morning, yeah, when someone sneezes, the tendency is because your breath hasn't been, you haven't brushed your teeth and all of that. Honestly speaking, if someone sneezes in the morning, the tendency is that it actually has an odor. In case you haven't noticed, yes, okay. Yes.
I better pay attention.
So how do you feel, generally speaking? It's a real hygiene thing.
These
Sometimes
days,
we ignore
a bit
it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, nowadays. And then I would ask you now, if you suddenly feel a sneeze coming on, what do you normally do immediately?
Grab a tissue.
Yeah.
Grab a tissue.
There's no tissue around you.
Sneeze into your sleeve.
Good.
Or just move away from where the people are.
Good. So you see, that's basic, hygiene, strategies. But a lot of people just sneeze in the air and they can't be bothered. Maybe because it comes so spontaneously, or they just really don't feel that there's a need to be sensitive to the people around you. And it can happen to anybody, to be honest. But what really is sneezing? To be honest with you, sneezing, for me, it's a cleansing process. It's like taking out germs from your system. And medically, it is very good for the body. But the truth of the matter is that it is very bad for the environment, because you're getting rid of the germs that are in you, maybe by virtue of an allergy that you may have, or something that irritates you around you, maybe dust. Some dust passed you by, and suddenly it gets into your nose, and you need to sneeze it out to cleanse your system. But as you're sneezing it out, you're actually sneezing germs into the environment. And that's why the etiquette aspect of sneezing definitely comes in. Now, it depends on the culture that you're talking about. So some people tell you that the act of sneezing, it's a myth really, is really like getting rid of bad spirits, and it doesn't really go, because at the end of the day, when somebody sneezes, what do you tend to say to them?
Bless you.
There you go. You say bless you, yeah. And then bless you, some people might say, oh, sorry, or some people might say, are you okay? And then some people might just ignore you because it's not really part and parcel of their, whatever. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, you would typically say bless you. But what about when you sneeze and you're around people?
Excuse me.
Thank you. So you would say, excuse me, generally speaking. But then again, does everybody say that? Not really. Not really. And then imagine if you're sneezing and then it comes repetitively, because sometimes you can sneeze and before you know it, it comes again and it comes again. At that point in time, excuse me won't be sufficient. You probably you just have to walk out of that environment. Yeah. But then, you see, the thing is this, when it comes to sneezing, the first thing I would say, if it was happening to someone else and you see someone sneezing, and because it was so spontaneous, they didn't have a handkerchief, they didn't have a tissue, they didn't have anything. I mean, out of courtesy, if you have, it's not compulsory, you can offer someone tissue, or if you have a spare hanky, that's just a nice thing to do when you see somebody feeling a little bit uncomfortable. But then again, what about if it is you that is sneezing? What do you do? And I would say, typically, part of your grooming pack in your bag, just basic things, you should always try to have at least some handy handkerchiefs, the disposable ones, in your bag. Nothing wrong with having a hanky. Doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be white, but at least have a hanky at the bottom of your bag. You never know when you can need it, Without a doubt, for those of us that are a little bit more sensitive, hand sanitizers are good. But I would even say hand wipes, which you can get everywhere now, are even better, because what's the difference, really? The hand sanitizer is to kill the germs. The hand sanitizer wipes are to actually clean your hands. Yes, as well as kill the germs, of course. Yes, even better still. But then, what happens when you sneeze and you don't have anything in your hand. Some people spontaneously will sneeze and sneeze around everybody around them. But I think we should cultivate a practice where if you know a sneeze is coming, and even when it's coming and it's almost here, turn your face away immediately so that you're not sneezing into people, because you really are sneezing germs, you know, out of your system. And the truth is, if you're anywhere near someone who's sneezing, you're going to pick it up. You know, it might not be bad or damaging or whatever, but you're going to pick up some germs around you. That's why it's very easy to catch the flu, because someone sneezed, and before you know it, you've got a cold as well. So, but even at that, when you look away, you mustn't just sneeze out. You need to, generally speak, sneeze into something. The ideal thing to do is to cover your nose and your mouth, whether it's with your tissue or with your handkerchief. And if you don't have any of those whatsoever, then they tell you to sneeze into your elbow or your sleeve. Yeah. And that way, you're protecting the environment or the people around you from picking up from some of those things that you sneeze
when we
from.
were little, it was sneezing to your hand.
No.
But now that is unhygienic, obviously.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not taught to shake hands. I mean, in our context, the African context, we're not taught to shake hands.
Yeah.
But now everywhere you go, you're shaking
You're
hands.
shaking hands. Yeah, and therefore
even
your
little
hands.
kids walk up to you. In fact, my neighbor's son, who's about 5, good morning, Miss Alero. And I said to the mother, I will not accept your child calling me Miss Alero. I'm Grandma Alero. And he's sticking out his little fingers out to me to shake his hand.
Courtesy.
God bless his little soul.
But then again, this is it really. If you feel a sneeze is coming on and you have enough time, the next thing you're going to do is quickly put your hand in your pocket or in your bag and bring out your handkerchief or your tissue, because ideally that's what you want to sneeze into. And of course, sometimes it comes so spontaneously, it's almost here, you know, before it comes out. But then again, you really want to at least turn yourself away, go into a corner, turn yourself away, or once again, sneeze into your elbow or your hand. I would say never sneeze into your hands. Now, sometimes people, in the event that they do want to protect the environment, the next thing that comes to them is their hand. So before you know it, they're like, achoo, and into their hands. So what happens after you've sneezed into your hands? And you get along with the day, you shake people's hands, you go and eat and all of that. And that's the essence of keeping the hand sanitizer wipes or the sanitizer in your bag. Because sometimes there's no water.
If you don't have any of that, rush somewhere and wash your hands.
And then again, if you don't have any of that, I would say wash your hands at the nearest possible time. So what you need to wash your hands, because at the end of the day, I was at an event last week, and the guy was trying to give me something, some forms, and the next thing that happened, he sneezed, and spontaneously he sneezed right into his hands. I could see he was embarrassed, because he was like, okay, he sneezed into his hands. He's like, okay, what do? Do I give her the form? He was so confused. He stood there for a few seconds, and I said, don't worry, I'll take it myself. You know, because basically, he needed to clean his hands at that point in time. He had no tissue, he had nothing. I would have expected him to excuse himself, you know, and because he could see everything happened in my presence, you know, but he didn't. And therefore, someone else is going to come along and, you know, it takes little things like this to spread germs, you know.